Have you ever walked into a room and forgot why? Or paused mid-sentence, searching for a word that used to come so easily? At first, you brush it off, thinking you're just tired and that it happens with age, but deep down there's a quiet word you don't say out loud. What if it's something more? The truth is, as we grow older, our brain, just like our muscles, needs care. And one of the most serious to that care is a stroke. But here's what most people don't realize. A stroke doesn't always arrive with a loud warning. Sometimes it begins with a dizzy spell, a moment of blurred vision, a hand that won't quite grip the coffee mug. And while we can't control everything, we can control what goes on our plate. Because some foods, yes, every you might eat without a second thought, can quietly raise your risk of stroke, not tomorrow, not next week, but little by little over time. That's why this video matters. Today, we'll walk through 10 common foods that may be silently putting your brain at risk. And better, safer choices you can make instead. It's not about fear. It's about knowledge and giving your body what it needs to protect you. Because the strongest step toward preventing stroke might begin with what's already in your kitchen. Let's begin. 1. White bread and refined carbs. The silent sugar trap. It's soft, it's familiar. You've likely enjoyed it for decades. White bread with butter, a dinner roll beside your soup, maybe a warm biscuit in the morning. But here's the truth that few seniors hear from their doctor. These comfort foods may be quietly increasing your stroke risk. As we get older, our body becomes more sensitive to how fast we process sugar, and white bread, along with refined carbohydrates like white rice, crackers, and pastries, turns into sugar almost instantly in the bloodstream. That rapid rise in blood sugar triggers insulin spikes, promotes inflammation, and can damage the fragile vessels that supply oxygen to your brain. Over time, this silent damage builds up, and for many seniors, it doesn't show up until it's too late in a farpark, or a sudden loss of balance, vision, or memory. But why does this happen after 60? After age 60, two things begin to change inside your body. Your insulin sensitivity decreases, which means sugar lingers longer in your blood, and your arteries become more fragile and less able to handle pressure swings caused by sugar spikes. That means even small habits like white toast for breakfast or sugary crackers before bed can quietly chip your vascular health. And when these habits add up day after day, they create the perfect storm for stroke. What you can do the good news is, you don't need to cut out all carbs, just choose the ones that work with your body, not against it. Try these simple swaps. Replace white bread with whole grain or sprouted grain bread. Use brown rice barley, or quinoa instead of white rice. Ditch sugary breakfast cereals in favor of steel-cut oats with fruit. Skip processed crackers. Opt for a sliceable with natural peanut butter. These changes slow down sugar absorption, keep your blood vessels calmer, and protect the brain you've spent a lifetime building. Smart tip: build a brain protective breakfast. Here's a simple morning routine to support stroke prevention. 1 slice of sprouted grain toast, mashed avocado or one butter, a boiled egg or half a cup of plain Greek yogurt. A few berries for natural sweetness. This combo is rich in fiber, healthy fats and stable energy with no sugar crash and no vascular stress. Final thought: refined carbs may seem harmless, but for seniors, they're often the silent sugar trap hiding in plain sight. And the best way to protect your brain and blood vessels might start with the bread you put on your plate tomorrow morning. 2. Processed meats. A salty threat to the aging brain. They're flavorful, they're familiar, and they've probably been a part of your breakfast, lunch, or holiday table for years. But here's what most seniors don't know: bacon, ham, sausage, deli meat. These processed favorites carry a hidden risk. It's not just the fat or the calories, it's the excess sodium and chemical preservatives packed into processed meats. Raise stroke risk. As we age, our arteries lose elasticity. They become stiffer and more sensitive to blood pressure changes. Eating too much salt, especially from processed meats, causes the body to retain water, which puts extra pressure on blood vessels. But that's not all. Processed meats also contain nitrites and nitrates, chemical additives that may damage blood vessel linings and trigger inflammation, both major contributors to stroke. In fact, Studies from the American Heart Association show that seniors who regularly consume processed meat higher risk of stroke and heart disease, even if they're not overweight. What to watch for: processed meats include more than just bacon. Keep an eye out for deli turkey or ham, pepperoni, salami, and other cured meats, and prepackaged meat snacks or Lunchables. Even the low-fat or reduced sodium versions can be risky when eaten too often. Smart swap: go fresh, go simple. You don't have to give up meat entirely, just choose unprocessed, naturally flavored options that protect your brain and heart. Roast your own chicken or turkey at home, and slice it for sandwiches, salmon or sardines for lunch. Rich in brain-boosting omega-3s. Use boiled eggs, beans or lentils as protein-rich add-ons. These options are not only gentler on your blood vessels, but also support better circulation and long-term brain health. Simple meal tip: instead of a ham sandwich, try whole grain bread with mashed avocado, sliced grilled chicken, and add a sprinkle of olive oil and black pepper for taste. No preservatives needed. This kind of lunch fuels your muscles, supports your heart, and most importantly, keeps your brain sharp. Final thought: processed meats may bring back memories of Sunday brunch or childhood favorites, but for the aging brain, they come with a price. And the smartest step you can take today might be replacing that slice of bacon with something your brain would thank you for tomorrow. 3. Margarine and shortening. The fake fats that hurt your heart. Let's shift our attention to something that's quietly in many senior kitchens. It looks soft, it spreads easily, and for years we were told it was better than butter. But the truth is funny. Margarine and shortening, especially those made with hydrogenated oils, may silently increase stroke risk. What makes these fats so dangerous? It comes down to trans fats. These artificial fats were once used to make foods taste richer and last longer on shelves. But inside your body, they do something much worse. They raise bad LDL cholesterol, they lower good HDL cholesterol, and they promote inflammation in blood cells, setting it easier for clots to form, setting the stage for a stroke. In fact, the National Institutes of Health found that just a small amount of trans fat each day can increase cardiovascular risk, especially for older adults with already stiffened arteries. Where trans fats hide. Even though many companies have removed trans fats, some products still sneak them, like partially hydrogenated oils, vegetable shortening, blended spread. These show up in store-bought pie crusts and biscuits, some microwave popcorn frostings, crackers, and even coffee creamers, and yes, some margarines. A healthier spread, a healthier brain. Instead of margarine or shortening, try heart-healthy swaps: avocado mashed on toast, olive oil for cooking, butters like almond or peanut without added hydrogenated oils. Grass-fed butter in moderation. Many nutritionists now agree that small amounts of real butter are safer than fake fats. These alternatives support brain health, reduce inflammation, and help maintain healthy cholesterol, the cornerstones of stroke prevention. Smart tip for seniors: want a rich spread without the risk? Try mixing Greek yogurt with olive oil and her. It's creamy, flavorful, and great on tossed or baked potatoes, or make your own avocado chia mash for inflammatory, brain-loving topping. The bottom line is that margarine may look harmless, and it may have been part of your kitchen for decades, but the side can quietly damage what matters most: your heart, your circulation, and your brain. With just one small change on your plate, you can move away from silent danger and toward long-lasting vitality. 4. Deli meats and processed cold cuts, a salty shortcut to stroke. Now, let's talk about something you might reach for on busy days. A quick turkey sandwich, a few slices of hound crackers, or that neatly packaged cold cut tray at family gatherings. But here's the problem: deli meats and processed cold cuts can quietly damage your blood vessels, especially after 60. What's hiding between the slices? These meats are often loaded with sodium and preservatives like nitrates and nitrites, compounds that tie arteries, raise blood pressure quickly, and cause oxidative stress to the lining of blood vessels. According to the American Heart Association, just one serving of deli meat can contain more than 600 mg of sodium, a serious blow to your heart and brain, especially if you're already managing hypertension. Over time, this chronic salt load can disrupt blood pressure regulation, promote arterial inflammation, and increase the risk of ischemic stroke, the most common type in seniors. Processed doesn't mean safe. Watch out for these common culprits: turkey breast slices, ham, and pus salamina, and mortadella. Even low-fat or lean deli meats, if they're processed, are still risky. And don't be fooled by packagings like nakdon or smoked, don't mean low sodium or nitrate free. Safer alternatives that still satisfy. If you enjoy sandwiches or cold plates, here's how to keep the flavor without the stroke risk. Use fresh root turkey breast you cook at home. Swap in tuna or salmon salad made with olive oil and herbs. Add mashed avocado, sliced boiled eggs, or hummus for creamy texture and protein. And always go for whole grain bread, which helps manage blood sugar and improves vascular health. Smart tip for seniors: make a big batch of healthy protein on the weekend, like roasted chicken or baked salmon. Then store it in the fridge to use throughout the week. This simple habit helps you avoid processed meats altogether without sacrificing convenience. Final thought: deli meats may feel familiar, and they may seem easy, but the truth is they come with hic and pays for silently over time. Every time you swap them out for something fresh and nourishing, you're not just choosing better food, you're giving brain and heart the protection they truly need. Diet soda, the sweet deception. Now, here's something that might surprise you: it has 0 calories. It doesn't raise your blood sugar, and it's often labeled as the better choice for weight control. But don't let the word diet fool you. Diet sodas, despite being sugar-free, may increase your risk of stroke more than you think. What makes it so dangerous? The trouble lies in artificial sweeteners like aspartame, saccharin, and sucralose, chemicals that trick your brain and disrupt your body's natural rhythms. Research from the American Heart Association and American Stroke Association found that older adults who consumed diet soda per day were nearly 3 times more likely to suffer a stroke or develop dementia. Why? Because these sweeteners alter gut bacteria, increasing inflammation, confuse the body's insulin response, stressing blood vessels, and may disrupt blood flow to the brain over time. More than just a drink, many seniors turn to diet sodas, thinking it's a safe way to enjoy sweetness. But these beverages may elevate blood pressure, increase oxidative stress, impair blood vessel flexibility, and when combined with a high sodium or low fiber diet, it's a recipe for vascular trouble. What to sip in? Something fizzy or flavorful. Try one of these safer, stroke-friendly alternatives: sparkling water with lemon or cucumber slices, herbal teas served cold with mint and berries, infused water with a splash of apple cider vinegar or cinnamon, coconut water with no added sugar, rich in potassium. They're refreshing, hydrating, and they support rather than harm your brain and heart. Smart tip for seniors: keep a glass pitcher in the fridge with sliced citrus fruits, herbs, or berries. It feels special, it's naturally sweet, and it encourages you to drink more water throughout the day, a key habit for preventing stroke. Final thought: it's not just what's missing from diet soda, like sugar or calories, it's what it adds to your body's most: inflammation, vascular stress, and confusion to your system that can build up quietly over time. So, the next time you reach for a cold drink, choose something that truly supports your health, not just your sweet tooth. 6. Fried foods, crunchy but costly. We all have a favorite crunchy food: fried chicken on Sundays, goldench, or a crispy onion ring at a family gathering. It's comforting, it's familiar, and for many seniors, it brings back good memories. But when it comes to stroke prevention, fried foods may be one of the most dangerous comforts on your plate. What's happening inside your body? Every time you eat something deep fried, especially from a restaurant or fast food chain, your body is flooded trans fats, which damage blood vessels and raise bad LDL cholesterol. Oxidized oils that create inflammation in your arteries, excess sodium, increasing blood pressure, often without you knowing it. Over time, this trio becomes a silent storm brewing in your bloodstream, and for seniors whose arteries may already be stiffening with age, this added stress can increase the risk of stroke significantly. Why it hits seniors harder? As we get older, our metabolism slows, blood vessels lose elasticity, and the body harder time clearing damaged fats. So, even if you eat fried foods just once in a while, the effects linger longer than you might think, clogging arteries, thickening the blood, and elevating stroke risk. Better ways to enjoy comfort food. You don't have to give up texture or flavor. You just have to shift how you cook it. Try these senior-friendly swaps: for air fry instead of deep frying with a light drizzle of olive oil. Oven roast or chicken. Chew chicken until crispy and golden. Use whole grain braiding like oats or almond flour for crunch without the grease. And sprinkle smoked paprika or herbs for depth of flavor without needing heavy batter. Smart tip for seniors. Make your own crispy snacks at home and freeze them in small batches. That way, when cravings hit, you have a healthy version ready to go. No deep fryer needed. Final thought: fried foods don't just add calories. They add invisible pressure to your blood vessels. Pressure your heart and brain don't need. So, the next time you hear that tempting sizzle, ask yourself, is it worth the silent risk? You can still enjoy comfort. You can still enjoy flavor. Just choose options that comfort your body, not compromise it. 7. Processed meats. A salty shortcut with a high price. There's something easy about processed meats. They're fast, they're tasty, and they've probably been in your fridge at some point. Ham, bacon, deli turkey, sausages, hot dogs. But while they save time in the kitchen, they steal time from your health. What makes processed meats dangerous? The issue isn't just the meat itself. It's what's added to it that turns it into a hidden stroke risk. Healthyaging nitrate, a preservative linked to hardening of the arteries. Excess salt, which silently raises your blood pressure. Saturated fats that can thicken blood and increase clot risk. And in many cases, hidden sugars and chemical additives. The result is a food that inflames blood vessels, stresses the heart, and contributes to plaque buildup. Key ingredients in the recipe for a stroke. Why seniors are more vulnerable as we age. Our kidneys and cardiovascular systems become less efficient to process sodium and toxins. This means blood pressure climbs faster after salty meals, recovery from inflammation slows down, and stroke risk builds quietly with no early warning sign. But what if you love a ham sandwich? You're not alone, and you don't have to give it up completely. The goal is to be smarter, not stricter. Here's how: choose low sodium or nitrate-free deli meats when possible. Use lean roasted chicken, turkey or tuna sandwich alternatives. Flavor with fresh herbs, mustard, or avocado instead of processed condiments. And keep portion sizes small. 2 to 3 ounces is plenty for one meal. Smart tip for seniors: if you love a hearty breakfast, try this swap instead of bacon or sausage. Sauté mush with garlic and olive oil, and top with a poached egg and whole grain toast. It's satisfying, flavorful, and far better for your arteries. Processed meats are convenient, but the long-term costs they bring to your heart and brain simply isn't worth the few minutes they save. So, next time you reach for that package of sliced ham or smoky sausage, remember, you can choose better, and your body will thank you quietly every single day. 8. Excessive alcohol, the silent saboteur of brain and blood vessels. For many seniors, an occasional glass of wine or beer with dinner feels harmless, even relaxing, and in moshing might be, but when that occasional glass turns into a daily habit, or when portions creep beyond healthy limits, alcohol stops being a pleasure and becomes a silent saboteur. Why alcohol increases stroke risk in seniors. Here's what excessive drinking does to your body, especially after age 60. It raises blood pressure, the single most dangerous stroke trigger, thins the blood, making you prone to bleeding-type strokes. Hemorrhagic, damages blood vessels, making them more fragile and likely to rupture. Disrupts heart rhythm, which increases the risk of clots, impedes deep sleep, weakens balance, and clouds balance. And all of this happens more rapidly in older adults, because our livers process alcohol more slowly and become more sensitive to its effects. Signs: you may be drinking too much, even if it doesn't feel like it. More than 1 drink a day for women. Needing alcohol to wind down or sleep. Feeling more groggy or dizzy in the mornings. Increased blood pressure despite medication. Trouble with memory, balance, or emotional regulation. You don't have to feel drunk for alcohol to be harming you. Better habits, safer choices. No need to eliminate alcohol entirely if your doctor hasn't advised it. But these changes can protect your brain and blood vessels. Dilute wine with sparkling water for a spritzer. Choose smaller glasses and drink slower. Have alcohol-free days week to give your body time to recover. And replace nighttime drinks with herbal teas or warm milk with cinnamon. Smart tip for seniors: if you enjoy a social drink, try mocktails, non-alcoholic blends of fruit, herb festive, water festive, refreshing, and completely stroke safe. Try this mix: pomegranate juice, rich in antioxidants, with lime and mint over ice. Your heart and brain will thank you. Final word: alcohol doesn't have to be the villain in your story, but it does deserve your respect. In small amounts, it may relax you, but in excess, it raises your risk of something you may never fully recover from. So, drink wisely, stay aware, and always choose habits that support your future, not just your evening. You've just learned about 8 everyday foods that may quietly increase your risk of stroke. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because our bodies change with age, and what once felt fine in your 40s or 50s can begin to work again 60s and beyond. But here's the good news: knowledge gives you power. Power to swap white bread for whole grains, power to enjoy your favorite foods, but in smarter, safer ways. Power to choose meals that don't just fill your plate, but protect your brain, your heart, and your independence. Because at the end of the day, preventing a stroke isn't about fear, it's about freedom. The freedom to walk confidently, to laugh with your grandkids, to wake up clear-headed and strong. So, if today's video helped you think differently about your food choices, please tap like to show, so you too other seniors who need it. Leave a comment below if you've made one of these changes. We'd love to hear your story. And if you're ready to hear health one step further each week, subscribe to our channel. Here we share practical, uplifting advice made just for you. Because growing older doesn't mean losing control. And know what to eat. Not when you have a community that cares. Until next time, stay strong, stay smart, and stay